Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Samantha and I am the knitter and knitwear designer behind Strikk. So I thought I would do something fun that isn't part of my normal podcast series, just a really informal knit and chat with you guys. The weather's cooling down. I feel like a lot more of us are curling up and picking up our knitting needles and just, chilling a little bit, relaxing. So I just wanted to provide you some content so you could just knit along with me and just take some time out of your day if you so prefer to do that. But before I get started, I want to introduce the second half of the Strikk, who has also been learning to knit. Please welcome my boyfriend, Kevin, who has to get around our big leg rest to sit down.
Hello.
So Kevin, when did you start knitting?
This summer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is how far I've gotten.
On his first project ever, which is honestly, that's the wrong side.
Well, to be fair, I did have to restart like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I probably knitted almost twice as much in reality.
Yeah.
And I was close to frogging this as well
Yeah.
because it's a bit messed up.
Yeah, that's kind of my fault, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I made him a chart, and I accidentally put knits on there instead of purl bumps, which is my bad. But before we start knitting, do you just want to show people what you're wearing?
I'm wearing this
Well,
H&M.
No one cares about your H&M sweater. I mean your knitwear.
My hat. I don't remember what kind of hat it is, but it's orange.
It's the Stay Wild beanie.
Yeah, it says Stay Wild somewhere on it. I don't
It does.
remember
It
where.
says Stay Wild on 2 different sides of his hat. It was a test
It's over
knit. Yeah, it's over here, and it's over on the other side too. Over there.
And you still haven't knit in the end,
I've done a terrible job weaving in the ends.
Yeah, look, there's still none.
There's still ends, but I will weave in for him eventually. But it was a test knit from Grey Owl Knits. And he loves it. And I'm wearing my recently finished waffle sweater. And I'm hoping to finish up another sweater today while talking to you guys. This is a new design I've been working on. It's a little Fair Isle sweater that's kind of, I think, perfect, seasonally appropriate in time for fall. And Kevin is working on his scarf, which is also you keep showing him the wrong side, which is also very seasonally appropriate. So we're just going to knit on our separate projects and just talk a little bit about, I don't know, just knitting, crafty, yarny stuff. Yeah.
Actually, I have a name for the scarf now.
Yeah? What's your name for it?
Well, the color really reminded me of these rusty train tracks in Cologne.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call it the Cologne scarf.
Ooh.
After the rusty train tracks in Cologne.
Man after my own heart, that's how I name my patterns. Yeah, I've noticed that usually, and I think I talked about this in the color video that I put out on my podcast series, was I feel like recently I've been naming my patterns a lot because of the color I knit the samples in and not so much a lot of textural elements.
That's true. Well, mellow.
Yeah, there are some that kind of, they're more connected with the actual design, but then a lot of them are very kind of tied into the color that I chose for the sweater. I guess we just have a lot of strong emotions associated with color, and so it
Well, that is the main thing that differentiates yarn from other yarn, right?
Yeah.
It's the color of the yarn.
Not necessarily. You
You
haven't worked with too many different types of yarn,
No.
to be fair.
I don't know what the difference between a tweed and anything else is.
Tweedy bits. It's more it's variegated, but not kind of woven in. It's got little tweedy nubs.
Like in Adams Morgan, the little bits.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you like tweed yarn?
No, I'm not a big fan. But
Really?
tweed, when you say tweed, I think of clothing that old professors wear.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel knitted to me, so It's kind of strange, like a strange association, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's what I first thought about it too. But then it's like, I think the thing that I like most about tweed yarns is that most of the tweeds I've used, they don't pill as easily. They're much harder wearing. I don't know if it's because they have a little bit of synthetic in there because of the tweed bits. But
maybe. I've noticed I have another beanie.
Yeah.
That you made, black.
Oh yeah, the Arctic rib
and
beanie.
It's starting to pill a little bit.
Yeah,
actually.
sorry. That's because it's drops Nepal. It's actually what you're knitting with right now.
But so it's like, does everything pill? Does this pill?
I think I mean, honestly, I think the sweaters that I've knit with silk mohair in them, so this has a thread of baby merino from drops and then one thread of kid silk mohair. And that's not pilling because, I mean, it's just finished, but usually things that I make with a strand of kid silk don't pill as easily.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because the kid silk adds a little bit of integrity to the stitches kind of, so they keep them from kind of coming loose.
You'd think that the extra fluffiness would make it pill more.
No, but that's why drops air, like on its own, tends to pill. But then when you hold drops air with silk mohair for some reason, it doesn't pill as easily. And so I like to use tweed for things like skirts and hard-wearing things because they don't pill as much. And it's
right,
actually...
if you're gonna sit on it.
Yeah, exactly. Very obvious pilling, right? In a very... Yeah.
I just realized the row I've started on now.
Yeah.
It's one of the triple cable rows.
Oof.
I'm gonna need to concentrate.
Okay, well then I'll just tell a little bit of a story about how you got into knitting in the first place then.
Okay.
Which, I'm not sure if you agree with me, but I'm pretty convinced that the reason why Kevin picked up knitting needles and started knitting is because it took me an eternity and a half to finish his sweater. I've talked to you guys a lot about the Arctic Sommergenser that I just knit for him. And he has been, I mean, he's worn it quite a bit now on our treks outside and such, but he was waiting for it for well over a year. And that is definitely my bad. But I think he just got so fed up by the end of it that he was like, I'm going to learn how to knit and I'm going to make my own clothes. And that's where we are now, because he's already bought enough yarn for a sweater.
That was optimistic.
Yeah. Kevin wanted his first project to be a cable knit sweater, top down raglan with short rows in the back for extra shaping, and I was like, absolutely not. You're gonna start with a scarf, and just as like a compromise, we're gonna throw some cables in there.
To be fair, this is a lot of cables, and it's difficult.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think the sweater will be kind of easy in comparison.
I think different parts of the sweater are going to be easy in comparison. Like, your cables now are pretty complex, but the sweater has more shaping. And so you're going to have to keep track of, like...
I thought shaping was more how much you knit, how many rows and short rows you have, and how many stitches there are per row.
Yeah.
I didn't think it had to do with your knitting, the shaping.
No, but it's like increases as you go along the yoke, and then you have to, like, the cables have to kind of blend in with the increases well, right? So it's about making sure that, like, you have enough stitches for a full cable repeat when you need one.
Okay. Is that something I'm gonna have to think about then?
I think so. I mean, it's something that I would think about if I was trying to make, like, a knitting pattern that looked kind of, you know, where you don't have, like, a cable row awkwardly in the middle of an increase, and it kind of pulls everything in.
I'm gonna need some coaching.
Oof.
I mean, you are the sweater master after all, so...
Please.
I mean, what is this, like your 15th, 20th sweater?
I've made a lot of sweaters.
You should count them all sometime.
I am actually planning, at the end of the year, I want to do everything I've made in 2022.
But that's not even close to everything you actually made.
No, but it is most of the stuff I've made, actually. I think I got on a bit of a kick. I knit a lot more in 2022 just because I started designing this year. So I have kind of two sub-lists of things that I knit in 2022. I have my own designs and other people's designs. You're going to have to make one of those pretty soon too. You're kind of...
My own design?
Yeah, trying away at it. That's what you want your cable sweater to be.
This is my own design too.
I made the chart for you, excuse me.
I picked the chart, so...
You picked the cable motif that you wanted.
Yes, I did. And it's beautiful. Except for the part that is not beautiful.
Which is?
Oh.
The back, the wrong side that you kept showing everyone.
No, this part that got it has knits instead of purls.
Oh, yeah.
It's not ideal.
To be fair, it's like, you know how the stitch that's closest to a cable is supposed to be a purl, typically? Like you have the kind of the braid going and then you have the purls on either side. I accidentally gave him a knit instead, but you can barely see it.
I think we can. I was about to
I
undo
think
the
you're
whole sweater.
hypercritical, and it's not a sweater, it's a scarf.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Almost dropped a stitch.
Oh no! It's a good thing you know how to pick those up.
I mean, unless they like ladder down, in which case I would have to have no clue.
Yeah.
But
I refused to buy a crochet hook for the longest time, even though I knew that's how you fix laddered stitches. So now I've caught you if that happens.
Really?
It's the easiest way to do it.
That's good. I thought I would have to undo the whole thing if I dropped a stitch.
No. Unless it's like a stitch in the middle of a cable, in which case, I mean,
yeah, those are the ones I would drop. Those are the difficult ones.
Yeah, so I'm over here knitting like a ripped cuff, and Kevin's over there with like a really complicated cable design, so...
For me, I'm sure you could...
Nah.
I mean,
No,
it takes me like almost 15 minutes to knit a row of this.
Yeah.
And it's 18 stitches, so...
I mean, Soul Dog was pretty complicated for me as I was knitting it. But that's only, I mean, there's 3 different cable motifs on it, but only one is like very complicated, and that's the center cable. That still took me quite a while.
Isn't this the center cable from...
No, the center cable for Soul Dog is different.
Because it looks similar, no?
It looks pretty similar, but it's not the same thing. The center cable for Soul Dog is like a lot bigger.
Ah, it's bigger. I can smell the pie already.
Oh yeah, we're baking pumpkin pie. This is like a real...
I'm baking pumpkin pie.
Well, Kevin's
You're
baking
watching.
pumpkin pie for us. I get to smell it and then eat it when it's done. But he's baking pumpkin pie. We've got apple cinnamon coffee over here. Or coffee. We've got apple cinnamon tea. I've got mine in a nice little stork mug that we got at Blind Tiger Copenhagen, and Kevin has like a classy mug.
Yes.
So, and then we've got knit coasters as well.
We're trying to make the most out of the end of fall.
Yeah, it actually, oh gosh, I am so jealous of everyone who's like, oh, fall is here, it's the beginning of fall, and fall is over for us in the Arctic Circle.
I actually got through the cables now. So
You did.
I'm very happy.
Nice.
Got a whole row of just knits and purls.
Are you on the wrong side?
No.
Not yet.
This is right side?
Yeah. So when are you gonna knit your first sweater, do you think? Are you gonna wait until your scarf is done?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I don't think I can have more than one project going at once.
There are a lot of very experienced knitters actually who are monogamous knitters, they like to say. They only knit one project at a time.
Oh, I thought you meant they only knit for one boyfriend at a time.
Oh man. Oh yeah, and I told Kevin about the sweater curse that everyone kept mentioning. Which is kind of, I got to use it as an excuse to take a little bit of time finishing his sweater.
It did not work.
I want to keep you around, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that Kevin has started to knit, logically, I think what needs to happen is he needs to make me a sweater.
Would you wear it if I knit it?
Depends. If I got to choose the pattern.
Oh. I guess I chose, yeah. I got to choose mine, so.
Yeah, so fair's fair.
Oh, maybe in a year or two when I finish my sweater.
A year or two, excuse me.
Well, I can't have 2 projects at once, like I said.
Heartbreak. That should have been my excuse. I can't have 2 projects going at once, Kevin, and I already started this new one. Oops.
Well, then I would be really on you when you were about to finish a project to get on mine.
You already were. Now you can work on my sweater.
Yeah, and you didn't.
It's done, isn't it?
Yes. Now I'm waiting for the mittens.
Yeah, I'm making Kevin a pair of my glacier mittens to test out the larger size.
Have you shown people?
I think I have in the latest color work video where I was talking about choosing colors for knitwear. I have on a section on marling. It's a very short section, but it exists.
Yeah, I remember you talked about the yarn in your yarn stash.
Yeah, in the leftover yarn.
Yeah, but then you actually showed the finished ones. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, mine were finished very quickly because it's always, and I mean, the other thing is knitting up the second, because this first mitten is done now. And knitting up the second mitten always, it's like second sleeve or second sock or whatever syndrome, right? It just takes forever because you don't want to knit the same thing again. That's boring.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I drop a stitch?
No, I hope you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Good.
Just kidding. Almost. It's so exciting to knit for me because I never know if I'm going to drop a stitch or not. Always on the edge.
It's like an adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was more of an adrenaline rush when I thought it would be the end of it. Now that I know you can save me, I might just accidentally drop it.
No! I can't save anything you do within a cable.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I would cry. I would just wind it all the way back until I could actually do something and then you'd have to knit it all over again.
You can't ladder through a cable?
No. Maybe you can, I just don't know how to do it. So, can you ladder through a cable? Let me know.
Link us a tutorial.
Please.
By the time we find it, we're definitely gonna need it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely had to. I think because while I was knitting Soul Dog, we were at your mom's in Stockholm, right? And his mom's cat kept sitting on my knitting book. And then I couldn't see what I was supposed to knit because he was on my charts. So I messed up a couple of those cables.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
For some reason, he was very into that paper. I don't know what kind of catnip was on it.
He liked paper, but not the yarn.
He liked the yarn too.
Uh-huh.
Because, like, your mom said he didn't like yarn, but she's always knit with cotton yarn. So I'm guessing there was something in the wool yarn that he just went nuts for. Because he liked my yarn.
Maybe it smelled like sheep or something.
Maybe. You could smell, like, the animal fibers in it. And you were just kind of like, oh my gosh.
Food.
I must kill this beast. I'm just glad he didn't, like, take it and dunk it in his water bowl or something. It would have been so sad.
He could have carried. He couldn't have carried a whole
Ball of yarn.
skein.
Skein. Skein.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I've said it both ways. I don't know. I think it's skein.
Maybe you should put up one of those polls on Instagram.
Is it skein? Is it
and have
skein?
people vote. Is it skein or is it skein? And then people can guess which one is which.
50-50.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really nice if you can, like, start knitting your own stuff too, though, because we need a lot of it in Tromsø. Mittens, hats, gloves, everything.
Yeah. Well, when you build up a stash, then you're good, right? When you have 2 pairs of mittens, do you really need a 3rd pair of mittens?
You always need more mittens.
One for every day of the week, or?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they get, like, a weird campfire smell on them, and then you're like, right, these are campfire mittens designated.
Oh, I love the campfire smell.
Yeah, but, like, my thing is when I'm on public transit, I bet not everyone else likes campfire smells.
I guess.
Because, like, I have gone from days where, like, I wear the same jacket to when I'm at a campfire, and then I wear the same jacket when I'm on the bus, and I can definitely smell it, and I'm sure other people can too.
But people up here are very used to the smell of campfires. I don't think anyone would mind.
Yeah.
Unless you, like, smell like smoke and they think you're a smoker, then they might mind.
You never know. And some people are, like, really sensitive to that stuff, especially when there's no ventilation.
Buses have ventilation.
Yeah, but not very good ventilation.
It's okay.
So excited to be done with this.
Do you have the time?
4:02.
Alright, almost time to go check on the toilet.
And then we're gonna eat pumpkin pie.
Well, no. Not yet.
Ugh, because we have to be responsible adults and eat dinner first and then eat pumpkin pie?
Well, it's just the crust that's in the oven right now.
Uh-huh.
The actual pie will go in the crust and then back in the oven again. And then we can wait for it to cool and then we can eat it. So yeah, there'll definitely be dinner first.
Oh. That's the best part about being an adult is dessert for dinner.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
It was for a fair bit there. Or just being able to eat whatever junk you want. And it's like...
It just feels so bad after.
No, but it's a special window, right? It's like we don't have kids yet. And so when we have them and they know what we're eating, we can't just eat garbage for dinner.
I guess.
And you can't eat garbage for dinner when you live with your parents.
Do you think my cooking is garbage?
No. I'm saying like disgusting fast food is garbage.
Yeah, but we don't eat that very much for dinner.
No, but we can if we want to.
We can. And it's the freedom.
Yes, it's knowing that you have the option of doing it.
Okay.
That's nice.
Gotcha.
It's fleeting.
Mm.
The next window you get to do this is when the last kid turns, what, 19 in Norway and leaves? Just
18, yeah, depends.
19. They're still in high school when they're 18 here.
Yeah, it depends on when they're born.
Mm.
Some kids turn 19 in high school. Some kids turn 19 when they're doing their military service.
No way.
Some kids turn 19 in college.
Yes. I turned 18 in college.
I turned 19.
That's one of the biggest shocks about coming here, I think, though, is that, like, because the legal age is lower, and, like, kids are still living with their parents when they're 18, they're usually in high school.
Yeah.
But they're like...
But that is starting to become a trend. More and more people have to live at home, both for college and after college.
Yeah?
Not just here, but, like, in all of Europe, and I think the US too. It's just how it's going right now. But yeah, it was nice to move out when we were 18 or 19.
Or 17 for some of us.
Yeah, okay. For some of you. It was nice to move out.
Mm.
So I hope our kids can do that too.
I would be very judged for my yarn stash if I still lived at home. Probably.
You're already being judged.
Yeah, but by you, not by my parents. It's fine. And I've converted you now too.
I still judge you when you tell me you buy yarn.
So it's like, you know how there's like all these viral memes and videos and stuff of like, oh, gotta hide yarn from my boyfriend. I've just converted him and brought him over to the dark side.
Mm.
So now he's a knitter too and he understands how nice yarn is.
Sammy?
Huh?
Is something wrong here?
You were supposed to do a cable roll on, I think.
Like, isn't this supposed to be a cable?
Yeah, it is.
Where is it?
It's not there, you didn't do it.
What do you mean? I didn't do a cable?
Isn't there supposed to be a cable in here, or is that the next row?
Like, you know, there's two here, right? And then isn't this supposed to go...
Yeah, but that only happens when you make another cable row.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I haven't... But on this side, there's two.
You see, you might just be scrunching it. Yeah, see?
Okay.
Same thing.
So I didn't do a mistake.
No. Good for you.
Yeah, no. I just finished row 23.
Row 23.
So yes, the next row is the 8 wide cable.
Yes, perfect.
So those are fun.
Yeah. And that's like the kind of cable you're going to do for your sweater. You want to make like really standard, pretty wide cables.
The sweater ones are 10 wide, I think.
Yeah.
But definitely, they've gotten easier. Now that I've started knitting looser, they've gotten a lot easier. In the beginning, when I was knitting really tight, and then I came to the row with the 8 wide cable, it was super difficult to like get even a stitch knitted after getting them all on the cable. Yeah. Because there was a little space. But I've gotten better.
You've gotten really good.
No, I'm not really
I mean,
good.
my first project was like a broken rib stitch scarf, and I think I messed up half the knits and purls on that.
Yeah, but I have you here, right? How many times have you thinked for me when I've done something wrong? Like 8 times. Imagine if you weren't here, like it wouldn't even be a scarf.
I mean, it looks like a pretty nice scarf so far.
It's lots of strange things going on.
Edge stitches are always wonky, don't look at them.
I'm a perfectionist, so it really bothers me that they are wonky.
Yeah, it's like half the things that I just kind of look at in knitting and I'm like, that's a feature of knitting. Kevin's like, why is that there? Like the holes in the cables, you know, where like the cables cross and he's like, oh, there's holes in my knitting.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. Well, I think he needs to start dealing with the pie.
Yeah.
Do you wanna wind down?
Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed knitting and chatting, well, listening to us chat about knitting and other things a little bit today. And I'm very proud of Kevin for his progress on knitting, and you can see more of his scarf updates in future knit and chats, because he is a monogamous knitter, so that's all you'll see from him until he's done, and this probably will be finished off camera, I'm guessing.
Like tonight.
Like tonight, and then I'll model it for him, and then, you know, despite him going no tester calls in 2022, I'll probably end up putting one out anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, because his work, right, is he deals with all the technical work in the Strikk Chick, so he like edits my patterns, he builds the website that all the patterns are on, and he manages all of our, he does all the YouTube video editing, that's all him. Exactly. So
Q&A.
when I do more patterns and more testing, that makes a ton of work for Kevin.
So, thank you for that.
Ah, but you love me.
Oh.
Well, we would love it if you joined us for our future knit and chats. So if you want to be notified when they happen, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button below. And if you want to come over and say hi to both of us, we're over on Instagram and Ravelry and TikTok as the Strikk Chick, and you can find us on the website that Kevin built for me, thestrickchick.com. Until next time, you guys, happy knitting! Bye!